Hey, it's me, Hype, and welcome back to another NNESAGA review. Today, we're going to be looking at the recently released Saints Row reboot. Now, there's a lot to dive into here, so let's get into it. Saints Row has always tried to go bigger and better when it comes to both gameplay and tone. After the complete fever dream Saints Row 4 was, it seems like they're trying to go back to their roots, introducing a brand new cast of characters and location. Saints Row starts off with your character being laid off from their private military job who chooses to start their own criminal empire, getting their friend group to tag along with all the chaos. One thing that's different here in terms of story is the main characters already have a strong relationship with each other, and it's kind of jarring being thrown into that. It leaves these characters feeling a little flat, and I wish there was a little more depth there, especially with two of these characters already having ties with rivaling gangs. But Saints Row was never really focused on story, so how is the gameplay? Well, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't fun. It still has all of the things the series is known for, and some extra features on top. There's plenty of things to see and do in Santo Ileso, and even more environments to blow up. Now, here's where it gets a little bit rocky. I was hoping with this new direction that Saints Row would find meaningful ways to spice up the gameplay, especially since it's been marketed as a reboot. It all feels a little too familiar, and that's not always a bad thing, but it left me feeling like there was some wasted potential here. Although it's still a ton of fun blowing things up and taking down enemy factions in Fast and Furious style missions, Saints Row isn't without its problems. For starters, playing on controller on the PC version of the game, the aiming and shooting felt a little unresponsive, even with the heavy aim assist. It still felt like bullets phase through your targets and never really pack a punch. This also extends to melee combat and finishers. Some of the animations were really desynced. However, there are skills such as landmines and special moves that you can shortcut to a button press, which are really fun to use. Maneuvering around firefights was also an issue. I'd quite frequently get stuck on terrain, and the lack of a cover system made some of the fights frustrating while playing on higher difficulties. Enemy AI also had some relatively big problems during my playthrough, with reinforcements being called in and just sitting in their cars not attacking or reacting to anything. On-foot enemies also seem to lose track of where you are and seem to run for miles looking for you. When situations like this happened, it really threw me out of the game world. The last of the major issues was the camera. It would often get stuck on terrain or spin around without my control. This also transitioned to driving, where there's only one camera mode that doesn't seem to track your car while turning corners, making it so you'd have to micro-adjust things as you go. On the other hand, I also had a ton of fun driving in this game, especially with the extremely arcadey drifty mechanics, which give you plenty of opportunity to cause some serious destruction. Unsurprisingly, there's also a bunch of bonus side missions and activities available for you to play around with, in typical open world fashion, most of which can be unlocked by starting shady business ventures as a front. Returning side missions such as insurance fraud also make an appearance here. There's plenty of things to check off a list which completionists can get a kick out of. I think there's a lot to love here, and I think it could be an absolute blast to play through with a friend in co-op, but for me it all felt a little bit too familiar. Pair that with the multiple bugs and a story that didn't really grab me, I feel like Saints Row could have been a lot better if it was pushed a little further towards a new direction. I'd love to hear what you think though. Have you played Saints Row? Let us know in the comments below, and if you want to stay up to date on this year's biggest releases, then a subscription is the best way to do so. That's all from me. Thanks for watching.